Greetings, my name is Xav Handfield, founder of Call Me Xav. I'm really excited to be here at North Miami Public Library for the second year in a row for our Teen Success Series. We're going to be tackling about leadership, we're going to be talking about identity and how to identify your purpose. I'm really excited to be back. It's going to be a great day. I am from Houston. I am from Miami, but I live in Houston, Texas. Has anybody ever been to Houston, Texas before? Has anybody ever been to Texas before? Okay, if you haven't been, you have to come. It's pretty awesome. This is my second year being able to do this workshop at North Miami Public Library, and I'm super excited. A little bit about me, I used to live up the street on 138th Street and 14th Avenue in North Miami. And when I graduated from college, I worked at North Miami Public High School. Anybody go to North Miami Public Senior High School? Anybody? Okay, okay. Pioneers. I graduated from NMB, so y'all are kind of like my rivals, but I'm going to just leave that alone. But I'm really excited to be here. And today we are going to be talking about Every Day We Live. Has anybody ever heard that song before? That's a song. It's a popular song. Last year, our workshop was called You Need to Cut It. All right? We were talking about communication. We were talking about identifying your purpose. We were talking about teamwork and working together. And today we're going to be talking about leadership. What does it look like to be a leader? Am I a leader? Are there any leaders in here? Okay, a couple leaders. Okay, okay. We're going to be talking about your identity. Hey, what is my identity? What does that actually mean? And then we're going to be talking about tackling your purpose. I love acronyms. So L.I.T stands for leadership, identity, and tackling purpose. But before we get started, I like to do an icebreaker. I know you guys don't really know me that much. I don't really know you that much. But we're going to do an icebreaker. So if everybody can stand up. Everybody stand up. Go ahead and put your cards down. All right. So, the first step in being a leader is just making sure you have confidence. All right? And having confidence, that is making eye contact, that is make sure you give someone a firm handshake, and it is not being all timid. What would you think if Lewis, right? I'm good, all right? So what if I walked up to you and I said, hey, my name is Mr. Xav, and what would you think about me if I walked up to you like that?
You're kind of shy.
Kind of shy, right? Would you think that I'm a leader if I did that?
No.
Nah, not really. All right, so our first activity, I want you to walk around to everybody in the room that you don't know, all the people standing up, and just shake their hands and just say, hi, my name is, tell them your first name, but make sure you're giving them a firm handshake and make sure you're making eye contact, because that's the number one thing, having a good introduction as a leader. All right? Hey, nice to meet you. Hey, sir, Xav, nice to meet you. Make sure you guys go around, go around. What's your name?
My name is Steve.
Pleasure. How many of y'all were a little bit nervous meeting people? Kind of shy? A little bit shy? Yeah, absolutely. The beautiful thing about being a leader is that you have to determine what leadership looks like to you. In regards to, if I'm a leader, is my self-respect important? Is being happy important? All right, I'm a leader. I need to be happy while I'm leading. All right? So I want you guys to never forget that each and every one of you guys are a leader. I know we've heard that, man, you're a leader, you have to follow before you lead, all right? But the fact of the matter is that leaders just do certain things different, all right? So on your note card that I gave everybody, I think everybody has a pen, go ahead and write down what makes you a leader. Everybody here is a leader. We just sometimes don't realize it yet. You are the oldest child. Maybe you are the captain of the basketball team. Call on a couple people to tell me what being a leader is for you. Go ahead.
By playing basketball for me.
All right, I like that. How does that make you a leader?
I got good sportsmanship.
I like that.
I just lead and tell them what to do.
Okay, good sportsmanship, great. Go ahead.
I'm the oldest person in my family, like the oldest child, and that means that I have to take charge around like the other kids, so they could learn what to do.
That's good. I'm the oldest child as well. That's tight. That's tight. Anybody else? Anybody else? How are you a leader?
do the right thing.
Oh, that's a good one. I love it. I love it.
I tell my little brothers what's right and what's wrong.
Absolutely. So he said he tells his little brothers what's right and what's wrong. Absolutely. Okay. I want you all to repeat after me. All right? Eyes up here. You see your eyes up here? Say, I am a leader.
I am a leader.
There's nothing that I cannot do.
There's nothing that I cannot do.
Leadership
Leadership
is in my DNA.
is in my DNA.
All right? You have to believe that. You have to believe that. Every single one of you guys are leaders in your own way. All right? You know what leaders have that others don't? They have the I can attitude and not the I can't attitude. Has anybody ever said, man, I can't do this, man. I'm not qualified enough. I know I've said that a bunch of times. I'm like, man, anybody good at math here? Anybody is on the struggle bus with math like me? All right, that was me. In high school, I was like, I don't know if I can do that, right? And the fact of the matter is, I used to tell myself all the time, man, I can't do math. I'll never be able to do it. And that was the worst thing because as a leader, you know what I should have done? I should have found a mentor. I should have found someone that was actually good at math that could have helped me out. So what leaders have is they have this I can attitude, all right? And how do you get to that I can attitude? It's by first taking a step back and being proactive instead of reactive. That's a great concept that leaders have. What does it mean to be reactive? Does anybody know?
Yes.
All right, what does it mean?
It means to do the right thing.
Right, it means to do the right thing. So being reactive is just being very impulsive and just doing something without really thinking, all right? But when you're proactive, you kind of take a step back, you assess the situation. That means you analyze the situation and you realize, okay, this is what I must do in order to be successful in math or in this problem, all right? So say, I can.
I can.
I can't hear y'all say, I can.
I can.
I will.
I will.
I'm capable,
I'm capable.
all right? Why do you think that it's important to realize that you're capable?
So you can do stuff in life.
Right, so you can do stuff in life. I love that.
And not giving up.
Not giving up. Do leaders give up?
No.
No.
They don't give up. I love it. I love it. All right. Cool, cool, cool. All right, all right, all right. So, how many of you all know what integrity is?
Me.
All right, go ahead. I love that. Being able to tell the truth. What is your definition?
Basically almost the same, but like if you do something wrong, you have to take accountability.
Taking accountability. I love it. I love it. Go ahead.
I was going to say the same
So you're going to say the same thing? All
Take
right.
responsibility for your own actions.
Responsibility for your own action. I love that. Fellas, ladies, guess what? My definition, my favorite definition for integrity is doing the right thing even when no one else is looking. All right, so I'm going to tell you a funny story. When I was your age, I like to go to fast food restaurants. Has anybody ever been to a fast food restaurant before?
Me.
Okay, okay. And when I used to go to Burger King by myself, nobody looking, I used to say, hey, can I get a water cup? Right?
Yeah.
Has anybody ever done that before? I know I'm not the only one. Keep it real. Has anybody ever done that before? All right, y'all feel me? So I used to get a water cup, and guess what I used to do? What do you all think I used to do? Of course, fill it up with juice and soda. I was like, doesn't everybody do that? But my aunt pulled me to the side one day, and she said, hey, you are a leader. You can't do that. You have to do the right thing even when no one else is looking. So that's in our high schools. When the teacher's not looking, you can't throw something in the back of the classroom, right? When your parents aren't home. I used to get in trouble at home a lot, right? And when our parents are not home, we still must do the right thing even when they're not there, all right? I'm the oldest of 4 kids, so it was important for me to be a leader and make sure I was doing the right thing, all right? So integrity is doing what?
The right thing.
Right, it's doing the right thing even when no one is looking, and it's being responsible. I love it, okay. Cool, cool. All right, so common sense. Is common sense common all the time?
Yes.
I heard yes, I heard no. So common sense is not always common because of our actions and the way we were brought up and our experiences, we have different ways of just understanding different things. But I want you guys to remember this. As a leader, you have to think critically, all right? That means not asking your mom or your teachers the answer to everything, all right? Thinking critically means taking a step back and just literally thinking about, okay, how can I figure out this for myself, all right? Because we live in 2017, everybody, how many have a cell phone in here? All right, all right. How many of y'all have access to a computer? Everything that we need is on the internet. It's on Google. You can YouTube it. You can research it. All right? So I want you guys to start thinking critically. Math is something that I struggled with as a kid, but guess what? I've had to get better at because I had to think critically. Okay, let me take a step back. There is an exact answer, so this is kind of how you figure it out. All right? We're going to do one last thing with being a leader. I want you to write one person in your life that is a leader and why. It could be a teacher, it could be a coach, it could be one of your parents, but write down on your paper who you know that is truly a leader and why. All right, does anybody want to mention the person that you put on the paper who is a leader and why?
LeBron James.
LeBron James, of course, King James. Why is that?
Because like he's a good basketball player and he's the captain of his team and he led his team to championships and playoffs and everything.
All right, King James, there's no denying that. Go ahead.
My dad, because he is a good football coach and he takes care of us.
Nice. Leaders take care of their families. Absolutely right. Go ahead.
My sister, because even though I cannot show my leader.
I love it. I love it. Who's the leader in here?
Me.
Okay. How are you a leader? All right, we'll get back to you, okay? So, guys, let me tell you some ways that you can kind of, if you're kind of like, I'm not really a leader, let me tell you some things that you can do, all right? I want you guys to use actual steps that are applicable to your everyday life. So these are 3 ways that you can start honing on those leadership skills. Number 1 is getting active in school. Stand up to be like class president. You can start getting active in the community too. Community service is the best way to show that you are truly a leader. Because sometimes doing community service, you have to wake up early. Is it always fun waking up early?
Nope.
No, not at all. But leaders just do that because sometimes it's not fun, but it must be done. All right? And number 3, being a leader is really, really kind of hard, but you have to do it at school too. How many of y'all have ever been bullied before? All right? How many of y'all have ever seen somebody get bullied? Anybody? Right, we all have. And leaders stick up for the people that kind of can't stick up for themselves. So I want you guys to think about that. Think about the ways that you can be a leader. Get active in the community. Get active in church. I remember my mom used to make me do stuff at church. And I was like, I don't really want to do it. But looking back 25 years later, it's like, okay, this is why I am the person I am today. And I am a leader, all right? So repeat after me. I am a leader.
I am a leader.
I am capable.
I am capable.
It's in my DNA.
It's in my DNA.
Let's get it. All right. So I want you guys to write on your paper, turn it around. All right. And now we're going to talk about the I. Every day we live. So everybody here is a leader already. I'm pretty sure about that. Now we're going to be talking about identity. All right. Tell me what you guys think is the definition for identity. What does that mean? Who you are. I love it. I love it. Anybody else? What does identity mean to you?
To do the right thing.
To do the right thing? Okay.
To not pretend to be something you're not.
Not pretend to be something that you're not. I love it. I love it.
To be yourself.
To be yourself. Okay. Anybody else? Identity? Identity is pretty much who you are. How many of y'all have a social media account? On Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, anything like that? All right. What does social media kind of tell us about our identity? It tells us, all right, you got to look like this. You got to be this height. You got to be this weight. You got to be this color. Has anybody ever felt the pressure of social media before? All right. So I'm gonna just put my hand up. I'm gonna be real. You know, you feel me? We got one other person. All right. It's pressure. It's pressure. I don't care if you are 8 years old or you're 38 years old. It's pressure because we're looking at these people. It's like, man, why does their life look like that? Why can't my life look like that? And a lot of times when you don't know your identity, it's really hard to kind of appreciate kind of where you are. And one of the things that I want you guys to do right now is on the back of the paper, write two things that you like about yourself. And I'm going to tell you why we're doing this in about 1 minute and 30 seconds, all right? So write 2 things on your paper that you like about, all right. So after you're done writing the 2 things that you like about yourself, can everybody stand up? Stand up, stand up. And I want you to find one person that you do not know one person that you do not know, and I want you to introduce yourself to that person once again, and I want you to tell them the 2 things that you like about yourself and why. All right.
When I want to play basketball, even if the tough kids can't, I'm always confident and but I'm still chasing after my dreams.
Okay. Me, I like being responsible for my mistake and tell the
You should
truth.
change it.
Huh?
You should change the page.
Oh, no. And tell the truth no matter what, and always tell my friends the right thing to do, even if there is another situation that they have to deal with. But sometimes you have to do the right thing.
And lead them.
I wanted to be very intentional with that last exercise, and I wanted you to write 2 things that you liked about yourself. Because guess what the world would tell you? The world would say, okay, because you came from this country, you are less than. Because you come from a single-parent household, then this is kind of what you have to do. But that's a lie. When you know your identity, you can say, okay, yeah, I came from this country. I may speak another language, all right? I may come from a different type of household, but guess what? My identity is something that I know, it's something that I'm proud of, and I am absolutely capable, all right? So social media, I want you guys to remember, social media will kind of tell you, hey, you should look like this, you should have this amount of money, but it's important to kind of analyze and realize, I know my identity, all right? The beautiful thing about identity is that there's nobody like you. Anybody like that thought process? There's nobody like you, all right? The beautiful thing about not having anybody like you is the fact that you're creative. Anybody creative in here? All right. So I love asking that question. That was kind of a quick question. Raise your hand if you are creative. All right. All right. So I love asking that question because so many people don't realize that they are creative. I'm a twin. All right. Anybody else a twin in here? All right. Yeah, I'm a twin. I think being a twin is one of the coolest things. You're a twin? Is it a boy or a girl? It's a boy? Are y'all fraternal or identical? Identical? Oh, wait. Is that your twin brother? Okay, just checking. Just checking, all right? So, you guys, I think the coolest thing is that nobody has our fingerprint. Look at your fingerprint. So nobody, even your twin doesn't have your fingerprint. So whether you are someone that is born in 2017 or 1917, no one will ever have your fingerprint. So what that reminds me of is that every single one of y'all are creative. Every single one of you guys have identity and there's nobody like you. And that's honestly your superpower. You have to walk with authority, with knowing your identity. That's my superpower. There's nobody like me. There's nobody that has my gifts. I think I can sing pretty okay. There's nobody that can sing like me. You feel me? There's nobody that looks. How many of y'all think you look good? Raise your hand. Keep it real. Fellas in the back. Y'all, you feel me? Y'all told me you think you look good, right? So there's nobody that even looks like you. That's a powerful thing. So I want you guys to always remember, think about when you're feeling like kind of down and out and you don't know yourself, just take your thumb, put it up, and just realize like, yo, there's nobody like me. God created like every fingerprint to be different. And that's the coolest thing ever. All right? And then last but not least, I want you guys to realize that you have to speak life into you have to speak life every single day. When I wake up in the morning, you know, I have like crust on the side of my mouth. You know what I mean? It's like crust in my eye. But I look in the mirror. I don't even brush my teeth. I look in the mirror and guess what I say? It's like I have purpose. All right? I matter. I'm important. And honestly, those daily affirmations are kind of what helped me to gain my confidence in my identity and just knowing that I was created for a purpose. I have a client that I work with. He's 10 years old. And his mom wanted me to work with him because he's going into middle school. And he's like, okay, I don't have that much confidence. I don't really know myself like that. And if you've ever been to middle school, it's pretty ratchet. Yeah, you feel me? Middle school is pretty tough. You know, you see a lot of things that you're not exposed to. And honestly, in my work with him, in even a month, his identity and his purpose, he kind of like, it just went to another level. He's joining stuff in church and different community organizations. But you know what helped him the most? Waking up every morning and repeating this list of daily affirmations that I gave him. It was tight, all right, just to see him evolve. So I want you guys to do that as well. I want you all to write on your index card. I want you to write 3 things that you want to tell yourself in the morning. It could be, I am handsome. It could be, I am beautiful. It could be, I have purpose. All right, they think their purpose is?
Yes.
All right, from the young man in the back.
My purpose is I am a scientist.
Oh, your purpose is to be a scientist. I love it. I love it. How old are you?
6.
Wow, even 6-year-olds know their purpose. That's pretty powerful. I love it. Go ahead.
My purpose is to be the next King James.
All right, so his purpose is to be the next King James. He loves basketball. All right, go ahead.
My purpose is to be a great gamer and go to college.
Oh, your purpose is to be a great gamer. So you like pediatrician. Does anybody want to go to college in here? All right. Does anybody think their purpose is to get an education maybe one day? All right. Why? I'm going to ask you, I have my own reasons, but why do you think education is important? In the back?
It's like, I think I like you're supposed to learn stuff. You're supposed to learn stuff and learn lessons so you won't make a lot of mistakes.
I love that. You learn stuff so you won't keep making the same mistakes. All right?
To become something in life and understand things, like if someone talks to you, like you know how to answer them, you have like good manners and good responses, and you're really good with words.
I love it. Go ahead.
It teaches you to better understand what you want to be in life.
It teaches you to better understand what you want to be in life. All right.
Because you can get a job in the future.
So you get a job. Okay. Okay.
To learn new things every day.
To learn new things every day. All right. So I love all those answers, but as far as education goes, guess what? You can literally educate yourself inside of school and outside of school. It doesn't necessarily have to be, oh, in my teacher's class, I'm learning. You can learn stuff on YouTube. I tell students all the time, eyes up here. You see everybody's eyes? Appreciate it, appreciate it. Cool, cool, cool. All right. I tell students this every single day. Listen, the ball is in your court. You guys have to literally wake up and make the decision like, okay, I'm going to learn. I'm going to be great. All right? Cool. That's tight. I want you guys to write this down. Write this down on your index card. I have to operate in my purpose. So these are the ways to help you operate in your purpose. Number one, find a mentor. Find a mentor. Find a mentor. A mentor is someone that helps you out. Usually mentors are a little bit older, but mentors are individuals that kind of guide you. They say, hey, you're going down the wrong path, or you're going down the right path. This is what I did when I was 16 years old. All right? So mentors can help you out with scholarships. Mentors can help you out with like life stuff. All right? So number one is find a mentor. Does anybody here have a mentor? All right. A mentor could be a coach. It could be someone in the community. It could be someone that in your family, right? It could be an older cousin. Absolutely. So number one is find a mentor. Number two is get around the right people. Get around the right people.
What does that mean?
All right. Great question. So getting around the right people means finding positive influences in order to kind of get to that next level. The next level could be college. The next level could be going to high school. All right? Get around the right people. And the third thing I want you to write down, how to operate in your purpose, is make the decision every day. All right? Make the decision every day. Number three, make the decision every day.
Wait, what's number 3?
Number three, make the decision every day to do what's right. Make the decision. So make the decision every day to do what's right. So I'm going to break down each and every one of you. So number one is get a mentor. So I am in my 20s, all right? And I have a couple mentors. And I can honestly tell you that it has changed my life having mentors to help me out and point me in the right direction. All right? I want to write a book. I'm working on my first book. Y'all give it up for me. Give it up for me. All right? And honestly, I'm going to just keep it 100 with you guys. It's been pretty scary. All right? Self-doubt has crept in. All right? It's like, man, you're not good enough. Nobody in your family has ever written a book before. You can't do it. So that stuff has kind of like been with me, and it can cripple you. Has anybody ever had a thought that kind of like made you stay in the same position? You're not good enough? All right. You have? You feel me?
Have you ever been doubted?
Yes, yes. He asked me, have you ever been doubted? Yeah, people always doubt me. All right, and I even doubt myself. But getting a mentor is important because mentors kind of have been where you've been. You can say, hey, I'm really struggling with writing this book, or I'm really struggling in high school. I'm getting bullied, or I feel peer pressure to do some things that I know as a teenager. I know somebody with morals and values I probably shouldn't be doing. And when you talk to mentors, it's a little, I'm gonna tell you a secret. It's a little bit different than talking to your parents. You can talk to your mentors like, hey, I'm having this issue, can you help me out? And honestly, I got one a little bit late, but if you guys start at 6 years old, if you guys start at 11 years old or 16 years old, get a mentor, find somebody that truly believes in you and that you can trust, and then it's gonna be a beautiful thing, all right? They're not gonna always tell you what you wanna hear, but if you find the right mentor, they're gonna point you down the right road for success. All right, what was number 2?
Get around the right people.
Get around the right people.
All right, so that's kind of like self-explanatory, but I want to hear from somebody that I haven't heard from today. Why is it important to get around people who are just the right people, good people?
Me? Oh,
Somebody that I haven't heard from. I haven't heard from that much. All right, in the back.
Because you don't want to
I love it, I love it. All right, what about you?
to not get bullied.
To not get bullied? Okay.
So they teach you not to join games and stuff like that.
Yeah, so you won't join games. That's important.
so you won't make the wrong decision in life because like they can lead you to bad, negative things.
I love it. So they won't lead you to. When you get around the right people, some people may say, hey man, y'all look lame, or y'all don't want to do this. And it's important to get around those right people because honestly, it's a little bit easier to do the right thing with other people. All right, so the right thing may be not participating in drugs or disrespecting young ladies or young men. All right, that is something that happens when you're around the right people. How many of y'all have ever been kind of like tempted or led to do the wrong thing in school? All right, I know I have, right? And the fact of the matter is that when you realize, okay, I need to get around these people, your life will change. Well, all right? So getting around the wrong people can kind of take you down a path of not being successful. There's this story of this guy. He was a basketball player. Anybody like basketball? All right. He was a basketball player, and he was one of the top draft picks to go to a pretty good school. And one night, he was just riding around, senior in high school, having fun. You go to parties. One night, he was just riding around with his homeboys, and guess what? They got pulled over by the cops, and they had marijuana in the car, and they were doing some underage drinking. And guess what happened? He lost his scholarship. He lost his scholarship to this really, really important school, this really, really prestigious school. His parents didn't really have much, so they were so glad, and they were so thankful that he got his scholarship. But one night, being around his homeboys, yeah, my homeboys are cool. Guess what? His scholarship and his life totally changed. And there are so many stories like that, you guys, that some people, something happened one night and their life changed. So I want to encourage you guys to get around the right people. Make sure that you realize that your purpose is not in, okay, let me see how much attention I can get, negative attention, but your purpose is by hanging around those right people and finding that mentor, all right? Because sometimes our parents don't have time. Sometimes our parents don't understand, all right? But I don't want you to be like that gentleman who lost his scholarship and he's still at home to this day, not really doing anything for himself. He's like, man, I really should have chosen the right group of people. So that's why that's important. All right, guys, so it's important to make the right decisions on a daily basis. You know why? Because of the simple fact that we have literally the power of choice. Eyes up here? Eyes up here? All right. We have the power of choice. And that's one of the most beautiful things. Even if you're a young person or an older person, you have the opportunity to make the decision. And you can kind of listen to what your parents say, all right? Sometimes most times our parents tell us the right thing to do. I remember when I was your age, my mom didn't know anything, right? Right? Adults in the back. As a teenager, our mom didn't know anything, right? But then you get a little bit older, you're like, oh, now I understand what my mom was talking about, all right? And it hasn't hit a lot of you guys yet, but you're going to see it. So just make the decision because you guys have the power of choice. Literally, the ball is in your court, and you guys are in the driver's seat of your life. Not me. I'm here speaking to you guys for an hour and a half. All right? Not your parents, not your teachers. You guys are going to be away from your parents one day, away from your teachers, and you have to make the right decision. You have to remember, all right, is this morally right? All right, does this align with my values? Am I going to be a respectable young man if I do this? Am I going to be a respectable young lady if this happens? All right, so we have to make the right decision on a daily basis. All right, so last thing I want you to write on your papers is, I want you to write down 2 questions for me. Write down 2 questions for me about anything we talked about today. Leadership, it could be about education, it could be about your identity, all right, it could be about purpose. I want you to write 2 questions for me. This is important. So I want you guys to kind of like think about some questions that maybe you want to ask me. Remember, I moved from Miami about 5 years ago, born and raised, so you can ask me about that. You can ask me about when did I know I was a leader, anything, all right, within reason. All right.
Money. The kids think that's selling drugs and stuff like that. That's how they get money at a young age. But I want to ask you how you get money at a young age.
That's a great question. So if you didn't hear the question is how do you make money at a young age? Because a lot of times when you hang around the right people, let's just keep it real, it might be selling drugs. If you come from a place where you're not making that much money, it's like, okay, this is kind of what I have to do in order to survive. But thank you for asking that question. I would honestly say, check up. I would honestly say that a lot of times teenagers do not use the skills that they are given. I know teenagers, all right? And I know, like, man, we want to be on social media, we want to be on Instagram. So think about the things that you're actually good at. Snapchat, right. So a lot of times you can do stuff in the community. All right, you can get a summer job. All right, you can get a part-time job. Even if you don't want to do that, I know someone who rents out lawnmowers, and he started his business at like 16 years old, legit. He was like, hey, what he did was he thought critically and he researched. He was like asking people, okay, how much do you pay for your yard to get cut? And he charged them a little bit lower, all right? But he was 16 years old, and that's how his business got started. Now he does landscaping on the side. He's also a mechanic. So I want you to think about the skills that you have and how can you use those skills that you have in order to kind of do great things. I like working with kids. Some people I know, they are not really good with working with kids, so maybe you can be a babysitter. All right, there are so many opportunities to use your gifts, your skills, and your talents in order to do great things. Maybe you're talented at drawing, all right? The library may have a competition like, hey, we have this competition where we want to get this graphics. We're charging, the winner will get $50, all right? You can do all these cool little things, all right? But I want you guys to first take a step back, think about what skills that you have and how can you use those skills in order to kind of like get money. Because I know what it's like. It's like, man, I am 14 years old and I'm broke and I want to get some new J's. All right, that's just being real. But I want you guys to kind of take a break from your phone. Let's just be real. We love our phones. Take a break from your phones and think about what you can do in order to use those skills and those talents and those gifts that you have. One of my friends that is here right now, guess what? She learned the skill. She learned sign language, all right? I'm going to give you a major key alert. Look on YouTube. If you want to learn how to do anything, whether it's changing gas or, changing a tire, learn how to do it on YouTube. YouTube is how you can learn how to do anything. So think about what you want to do, all right, and get on YouTube. I love that question. Thank you. Louis, do you have a question?
Yes. Is your job, like, fun? Do you like your job?
Huh?
Do you like what you do?
Do I like what I do? Yeah, I do. I get to interact with teenagers every single day. I get to speak. All right, that's something that I'm not kind of shy of doing. That never came really hard to me, so I love speaking. So I get to present and speak to teenagers and kind of empower them every single day. So I do like my job. I like it a lot. That was a great question because it's important to like your job. I know people that hate their job, but I'm not one of those people.
Other than your current job, do you have like any jobs on the side?
That's a great question. So, not like my current job, but do I do anything on the side? Yes, I actually do. So I speak on the side of like my main job. All right, my main job is to present at high schools and talk to students about like college or the military or whatever it is they want to transition into doing. So that's my job. But on the side, I speak. I told y'all I'm working on my first book, and I help people with their diets as well. In regards to a lot of people want to stop giving up meat. I stopped eating meat when I was 12, so I help people with that, and I kind of charge them too. So, yeah, you got to use the skills that you have to make that money. All right, to do things for yourself. I know you had a question.
I have 2 questions.
Okay.
First one, Do you like basketball?
Miami Heat basketball all day. We in Miami. Come on now.
Second one. How did you make it in life?
Huh. How did I make it in life? All right. So I love that question. What's your name?
Dave.
Dave. I love that question because guess what? I determine if I made it or not. And the thing is, with our current society and how things are, we kind of look at other people like, okay, I'm about to be 30. Man, I'm about to be 30. I am. All right. And if I look at other people like, man, this person has already written 5 books and they're speaking around the world. And this is something that I want to do. I'm like, man, I didn't make it. But guess what? I determined if I made it or not. You know how? Because I moved out of my home city, Miami, Florida. I moved out of my mom's house when I was 25 to another city. I was able to make friends and do well. 1. All right. Number 2, I don't compare myself to others. I compare myself to how I was a year ago. Did I come back to North Miami Public Library and do better than I did last year? All right. Maybe even 10 years ago. Am I the same person I was when I was 19? I can tell you, no, I'm not. And I'm so glad about that. All right. So, Dave, that was a really important question. And society will tell you if you made it or not. But you have to realize that you need to kind of figure out what it is inside you that will determine if you made it. All right. And honestly, I made it.
Yeah, I have 2 more.
Okay.
The other one is what do you do if people keep doubting you, like when you get mad? Like, do you quit or get mad or anything?
All right. Are those 2 questions or 1?
One.
And what's the second? And what's the second question?
What do you do for a living?
All right. So I'll answer the second question first. All right. So he asked what I do for a living. So I'm a high school ambassador. All right. And so I go into high schools and I talk to students about transitioning. So that's my job. But the other question that I really love, he said, what do you do when people doubt you? All right. Do you give up? And honestly, when people doubt me, I kind of don't, some people say let your haters be your motivation, but I kind of don't give those people that much credit. Because again, I'm my own competition. People are going to doubt you because sometimes people are insecure. Sometimes people are like, they look at you and they say, okay, we came from the same type of family. How did he graduate from high school and I didn't? How is he going to college? How is she, graduating with a 4.0? We took the same classes. So people are going to doubt you because maybe they're insecure within themselves. Maybe they're not confident. Maybe they're like, I don't feel like this person deserves it. So they are indeed hating, but you don't give up. You can't give up because at the end of that road, that's the finish line, all right? And you got to get to that end of the finish line. So don't give up when people doubt you because guess what? People are going to doubt you. Sometimes those people may be in your family. Sometimes those people may be in your classroom or even your teachers. So honestly, when I was a young man, so maybe like straight out of college, I wasn't that good with my finances. I used to spend. And then I realized, fellas, listen up. So I realized that I am going to be very, very broke if I keep down this path. So finance is just, if you don't know what finance is, that's just managing your money. And managing it smart. So I honestly got around people that did manage their finances well. I have one friend in particular, and honestly, I can say 3 times in her life, she was able to get 5 figures in her bank account. But because she showed me, okay, this is how you save. This is how you kind of like don't eat out. Obviously, I like to eat out, and I like to eat. Y'all supposed to laugh, but anyway. I like to eat out, and guess what? Eating out gets crazy expensive. All right, so when I started getting around those individuals that kind of managed their money way better than I did, I started implementing things that they did. All right, and that's all kind of what I mentioned to you guys. Getting around the right people. So if you want to kind of like know about finance and how to manage your money, please get around individuals that are already doing it. And sometimes they might not be our parents. Sometimes they may be people that we meet along the way. Thank you for that question. All right. And sometimes he said, why do people hide their real identity? What do you mean by that?
Some people, like, I don't know what those others say to them, but they like hiding their real faces. You see, they change their different things. Their own style, they change it. They just change to someone else, and they want to be their own style, but someone else is telling them not to do that. Follow someone else.
Right. That's a great question. All right, and the thing about identity is that, again, the world will try to tell you what your identity is. This is what you must do as a black man. This is what you must do as a Hispanic man. This is what you must do as a young lady. So our identity, all right, is if it's found on, let's say, looking at other people or found in social media, you're going to like really be really confused in the head, and I've seen it before. So in talking about identity, I want you guys to honestly realize that you are you, all right? And figure out, I believe in God, all right? Honestly, you know, we all maybe believe in different things in here, and that's totally fine, but the fact of the matter is your identity must come from God. Just knowing who He is, and then just walking kind of like in that light, all right? When I come into a room, I like to be a light. I like smiling, all right? No, I'm not mad. I'm not upset at anything, all right? So just make sure, all right, he talks about hiding your identity. Don't hide that light. If you are an awesome person, don't be average for somebody else, all right? I want you guys to kind of figure out who you are and then kind of walk into that light. No, you were talking. So he asked, have I ever wanted to quit? Somebody doubted me so hard. Like, man, Xav, you'll never be able to amount to anything. You'll never be able to do it. Have I ever quit? Let me think about that. Honestly, I have not quit because of somebody else. Maybe because I didn't want to do it, but it wasn't because of someone else. Because the fact of the matter is, like, if you quit every time someone says, like, hey, you're not good enough, you're dumb, you're stupid, you're incapable, we're going to be quitting every single day. Because that's kind of like how the world could be a not so friendly place. So if I ever gave up or if I ever quit on something, it wasn't because, like, okay, this person told me I need to quit. Nah, it was because, guess what? I kind of like lost interest, or I kind of, you know, didn't apply myself like I should have. I'm just keeping it real with you guys. That's when I quit, but it wasn't because of somebody else. Because there are always going to be those people in your life. They're going to be naysayers. They're going to be haters because they don't understand kind of like your journey. All right, we'll take one more question. One more question for somebody. When did I start my speaking career? I started my speaking career about 3 years ago. And you know how it started? It started because I realized that in my 9-to-5 job, in my day-to-day job, I was speaking. And it was something that I kind of cared about, but it wasn't, you know, it wasn't impacting students like I really wanted it to. So guess what I did? I kind of took a step back. I realized, okay, I majored in business. Why don't I kind of start my own business? And I realized that I had the gift of speaking. I love speaking. I love standing in front of students. I love talking to individuals from different walks of life and just saying like, hey, this is what your purpose is, or let's help you identify your purpose and the steps in order to get there. This is what a leader looks like. Those things are important because, guys, again, you will be walking around aimlessly. You will be walking around like, oh my gosh, I don't have any purpose. I just need to die. That's how some people feel because they don't know their identity. All right, they don't realize they're a leader and they don't know that they have purpose. So I started 3 years ago because I realized I really like speaking and I was kind of good at it. And it's something I've been doing since I was a little kid. So I was like, let me just do it. Sometimes you're going to fall on your face. I've fallen on my face a couple times, but you got to get back up and do what? Keep going. That was a great question, Naya. All right, so that is my time. All right, that is my time. We have something special for you guys when we all end. But I want to leave these 3 things with you. All right? Made you feel it. Made you feel it. Write this on your paper. Carry yourself with excellence. Carry yourself with excellence. Carry yourself with excellence. Why that is important is because excellence, yes. Why that is important is because as young adults, as people who will be teenagers, that will be leaders one day, carrying yourself with excellence is very important, all right, in order to kind of separate yourself from other people. Honestly, excellence is the way you dress, the way you treat people. People, Maya Angelou, she's a famous poet, she said, people probably won't remember everything that you said, but they will remember how you made them feel. All right, so when you carry yourself with excellence, you treat people with respect. All right, and they remember that, wow, that guy has so much respect. Wow, she was such a well-mannered young lady. So number 1, carry yourself with excellence. Number 2, be accountable for your actions. Be accountable for your actions. In today's society, it's really easy to say, oh man, I didn't do that. All right, and not take responsibility for your actions or your mistakes. It's okay, we all make mistakes. I make mistakes daily. All right? Honestly, I do. All right, but make sure that you are accountable for your actions because that shows a level of maturity. I want you guys to all get to that next level. And then get into your next level, you have to walk with excellence and carry yourself in that light, and you have to be accountable for your action. Last but not least is know your value. Know your value. Understand your value. Knowing your value is such, I like to call it a major key alert. Knowing your value is so important because if you don't know your value, somebody else will determine it for you. They'll say, okay, man, I'm not going to pay you this much because I don't think that you're capable. I'm not going to show you the respect that you deserve because you don't even respect yourself. All right, but when you know your value, you realize, okay, I'm not going to settle for just average. I'm not going to just settle for you disrespecting me or not treating me in the manner that I deserve. So the first one is, what? What's the first one?
Carry yourself with excellence.
All right. What's the second one?
Be accountable for your actions.
What's the third one?
Know your value.
Know your value. All right. So that is my time, you guys. Thank you. All right. All right. So it has to be under 30 seconds. That's the hard part. You have to tell me 5 things, no stuttering, 5 things that you learned today.
Can I try?
All right. So again, you have to tell me what you learned and like what does that mean to you? All right. Go.
Hello everyone, my name is Dave, and today I learned about leadership, like to be a leader, like lead with confidence, and sportsmanship. And I learned about confidence. You know, believe in yourself and not look up to other people what they wear or anything, and you have to hang around with the right people so they won't make you like do negative things about your dreams. And I learned about
Time. That was good. That was good. That was good. I counted 4. All right. Go ahead. Wait. Go.
I learned how to be more mature, and I also learned how to give a good introduction. I also learned how to get around the right people so I won't do any wrong things. I learned to carry myself and treat people the way I wanted to be treated. And I also learned my purpose in life and what I wanted to do for a living. What I want to do for a living. That's 4. And I also learned my value in life.
Let's go.
4.
No, that was 5.
That was 4.
I said it. No, I said life and then you said time.
After that's one, after that's time, after that's one.
All right.
I was first. I was first, and she was second grade.
All right. I'll tell you when.
Just me.
Go.
Today I learned how to interact with people and be social, and I learned about having a mentor, somebody to look up to, and third, I learned about getting around with the right people in order to be influenced by their action. Fourth, I learned about my identity and searching for who I am. I learned about achieving my goals. And
Time.
no, yeah, I want to speak my mind. And
Time.
Time. It's time. It's time. You said 4.
that's fine. She said able to speak.
Man, I'm done.
You were struggling.
That's good.
He said no hungry.
I said tired.
All right. On your mark. Get set. Go.
Today I learned to be responsible. Responsibility means to do the right thing and do what you need to do in life. I learned to be a leader. Being a leader means to do what you need to do and do the things you need to do in life. I learned to do the right thing, but even if you want to lie, you shouldn't. I learned to find a mentor because they can tell you the right things to do, the path you need to go on, and be with the right crowd so you don't get into any games and don't get into any trouble.
Good job. All right. Go ahead. Wait. Let me. Go.
Today I learned to carry myself with excellence. 2, be accountable for your actions. 3, know your value. 4, be yourself. And 4,
Give it up for everybody, guys. Give it up for everybody. Very hard, right? But the winner, undisputed winner, for our second annual North Miami Student Workshop Series, it's gonna be my man Lewis. Give it up for him. Give it up. Give it up. Give it up. All right. So this is a $20 gift card. How old are you?
11. Turning 12 on Sunday.
Happy early birthday.
11.
All right. So the reason why he won, is because for 5 of them, for each 5 of them, he broke it down just how I asked, and the time wasn't cut off.
What about the raffle?
The raffle. No, the raffle is for food. The raffle is for food. We're gonna make sure y'all are good. But please, if you guys are on social media, if y'all on Instagram, follow me. Follow me on Instagram. My name is Call Me with a K, Xav. Call me Xav. XAV.
Responsible today and do like the right thing. I learned to be a leader, like do the right thing and do what you need to do. Even if you want to give up, you shouldn't give up. I learned to do the right thing. Like even if you want to lie, you shouldn't, because you could get in trouble or people might find out if you lie. So you should just do the right thing and you might not get in as much trouble. You need to find a mentor because they can teach you to go on the right path and do the things that need to be done, and they tell you the things that don't need to be done, and be with the right crowd. Like go with people like that are good. Like if there's like someone that's mean, always yelling at you, don't be their friend because you don't need to. You gotta be with people who are nice to you, who will tell you the right thing and stuff like that.
My name is Ursula Smith. I am a sign language interpreter for the Broward County School System, and this program that I saw today was great. Working with young adults myself, Monday through Friday, I can see how something significant as their purpose really can, help them be on the right track when school, state exams aren't significant enough, or they don't understand why math or science or English is important for their future. There's no denying a program like this. So if you are anywhere where Xav is speaking or you want more information, please do follow his handle. Call me Xav on Instagram.
Hi, my name is Paul. I work here in the North Miami Public Library. We want to thank Xav Handfield for coming out for a second straight year to the library. Xav is currently residing in Houston, Texas, but this is his second year coming back to his hometown where he grew up. Xav spoke to the teenagers for the second straight year about leadership, integrity, positive thinking, peer pressure. This is a special program that the library was very happy to sponsor and partner up with Xav because we understand the lack of resources that the teens need. Sometimes teenagers, they just need a guidance, they just need a mentorship. One of the things that we always complain about is that there's not enough community centers and teen programs in the city of North Miami. So once again, we want to thank Xav Handfield for coming out and speaking to our teens. This was completely free. Xav took his time out and he did an excellent job. We hope to have Xav back again next year. And thank you, Xav, for coming out, and we hope to see you next year.